Yvonne here, and today we're reacting to 10 terrifying flights that will give you fear of flying. I already have a fear of flying, so let's see how this will further my fear.
Air travel is no doubt safer than driving a car, but that doesn't mean that there aren't mishaps. From hijackers to birds to mechanical failure, here are 10 most terrifying flights. Before we take off, get the latest on the richest by hitting that subscribe button. United Airlines Flight 840. United Airlines Flight 840 was heading to Los Angeles, California from Sydney, Australia. The plane was in the air for about 30 minutes when several birds got caught in both engines. The plane had to turn around and ended up heading back to Sydney. The plane circled over the ocean for 45 minutes to burn fuel. Meanwhile, passengers prayed that nothing more would happen. Southwest Flight 3472. In August 2016, Southwest Airlines Flight 3472 had a terrifying situation. One of the engines failed and threatened everyone on board. According to passengers, there was a big explosion during the flight. The plane started to shake and breathing masks were deployed. Luckily, none of the passengers were injured, but the plane had damage to one side and the damaged engine was lost. Egypt Air Flight 181. On March 29, 2016, an Egyptian man named Saif Eddin Mustafa hijacked Egypt Air Flight 181. He accomplished this with a fake suicide belt. The plane was traveling from Alexandria to Cairo with 72 passengers and crew members. Luckily, everyone aboard was safely released. When asked why he hijacked the plane, Mustafa said he did it to underscore the wrongs of Egypt's military-backed government. United Airlines Flight 880. United Airlines Flight 880 was heading to London Heathrow from Houston, Texas, when trouble occurred. About 3 hours into the flight, the plane experienced severe turbulence and bumped, and then dropped again. According to passengers, most were asleep at the time and didn't have their seatbelts on. The flight was diverted to an airport in Shannon, Ireland, and 12 passengers had to go to the hospital. PSA Flight 182. On September 25, 1978, Pacific Southwest Airlines Flight 182 was heading to San Diego, California from Sacramento. As the plane was descending to land in San Diego, it collided with a small Cessna plane. The collision caused both planes to crash in a nearby neighborhood. All on board both flights were killed, plus people on the ground. In total, 144 people were killed, making the accident one of the deadliest plane crashes in California history. United Airlines Flight 6176. In January 2017, United Airlines Flight 6176 was forced to make an emergency landing at Nashville International Airport after a terrifying incident involving a fire. The plane had taken off from Washington Dulles when the crew received a fire warning for the right engine along with a possible fuel leak. The plane was able to land safely while firefighters put out the blazing engine. Air Horizont. A Boeing 737-430 for Air Horizont made a terrifying landing as it got caught in some intense winds. As the plane attempted to land, it started barreling side to side. You can see the wings skim the ground as the plane went back into the air to try again. Luckily, the plane was able to make a more stable landing. Air Canada Flight 624. In March 2015, Air Canada Flight 624 was heading from Toronto to Halifax where there was a big snowstorm. The plane landed short of the runway and crashed. The plane was severely damaged and power to the airport went out. Out of the 138 passengers and crew members on board, 23 were injured, but luckily everyone survived. Southern Airways Flight 932. On November 14, 1970, Southern Airways Flight 932 was transporting the Marshall University football team back to the Tri-State Airport. As the plane descended onto the runway, it collided with the tops of some trees on the hillside and crashed, killing all 75 on board. The process of rebuilding the football team was made into a film starring Matthew McConaughey titled We Are Marshall. Delta Flight 1889. In August 2015, Delta Flight 1889 was flying from Boston and heading to Salt Lake City. While flying through Nebraska, the plane flew through a thunderstorm. The flight had to make an emergency landing in Denver because hail had shattered the windshield, making the pilots unable to see. Luckily, the flight was able to land safely. Have you ever had a scary experience on an airplane? Leave us a comment down below. And
anyway, guys, so far, only 2 of them further my fear. I feel so sad for those people on those planes, because mainly it's they had a life, they were going somewhere, they had things to do, but yeah, super sucks. Ever since Final Destination, I've always had a fear of flying, because that movie just, I feel like it messed a lot of people up in the flying department. Yeah, I feel like most of the planes probably messed up because they did not have a phalange. You have to have a phalange to fly. If you understand that reference, let me know in the comments. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like more of these 10 facts type thing, check out the Richest channel. They have a lot of it. It's super interesting. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please remember to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter at AlenLadyKisses. And until next time, bye!